The death scythe once reaped souls for the grim Reaper himself. Worth 50,000 points, it sat in a shop for 50 years, ignored by everyone. Everyone thought it was just an ordinary tool, but I spent all my savings to buy it. Seeing this, the crowd thought I had lost my mind. Little did they know, the moment I touched it, I felt the Reaper's true power. This scythe is a growth weapon, part of my exclusive set. In this world, reality and games have merged. Everyone must undergo a class awakening at 18. But 99% of people only get lifestyle classes. They are useless compared to the popular support classes. Combat classes are what everyone dreams of. Today is our school's awakening day. As the awakening circle activates, Principal Miller calls students forward to enter the circle. But the first student becomes a farmer, a lifestyle class. He is devastated. He is destined to remain at the bottom of society. The second student also gets a lifestyle class. Master Thorn frowns at the sight. It seems your school struggles to produce even one combat class. But when Sarah steps up, he is shocked. Her mental power is twice as high as anyone else's. She will likely become a mage. Suddenly, Sarah triggers a massive phenomenon. 2 massive elemental orbs appear above her. This means she has at least a rare class. Sarah successfully awakens as a rare class, Elemental Mage. Principal Miller and Master Thorn are full of praise for her. Now, it is my turn to step up. Master Thorn predicts I can only awaken a basic life class. But the moment I step into the formation, a terrifying energy erupts from beneath my feet. A massive pillar of light shoots into the sky. The principal and the master realize this is another phenomenon. It is even more shocking than Sarah's. Sarah watches the scene with a nervous expression. Suddenly, a student points to the sky and screams. Thousands of dark shadows emerge from the black clouds. They look like terrifying undead from hell. Some students collapse to the ground in fear. The shadows in the sky suddenly salute me. They turn into necromantic energy and flow into my body. I have awakened as a unique hidden class, necromancer. This sparks both jealousy and fear in the crowd. I do not care about their reactions. Master Thorn quickly stops me. He wants to see the skills of a unique hidden class. I check my class skills. I can currently summon 1 Iron Rank Skeleton Warrior. With a thought, the Skeleton Warrior appears. The surrounding students look on in terror. The master fires a beam of light at the warrior to test it. The Skeleton Warrior's killing intent immediately surges. This surprises Master Thorn. A level 1 summon actually shows hostility toward him. However, the summon stats seem average for now. Satisfied, the master thanks me for the demonstration. With a thought, I recall the Skeleton Warrior. The system notifies me that my summon space limit is 10. At this moment, I finally understand. The vision I saw when I first awakened was real. If a necromancer levels up and expands the summon space infinitely, I will eventually be able to one-shot giant dragons. Before I can think further, Sarah runs over to challenge my exam scores. I simply say, "Oh," and walk away. As soon as I get home, a system notification appears. Host detected as a necromancer. Class meets the requirements. You have gained the talent total amplification and the skill damage transfer. All skill effects are increased 5-fold. All damage received will be transferred to your summons. I immediately summon a Skeleton Warrior to check its stats. Its attributes have indeed increased by 5 times. With the damage transfer passive, I will be invincible against anyone of the same level. The next day, Benny wants to team up with me, but I refuse. I tell him I plan to enter Summer Capital Academy. Soloing dungeons is the fastest way to level up. Principal Miller is shocked to hear this. To enter that academy, you must reach level 12 before the big exam. Your sister Moira reached level 16 before she was accepted. There is only 1 week left until the exam starts. Reaching level 12 by then is nearly impossible. However, I remain confident in my choice. I then head toward the beginner dungeon. Sarah approaches me and challenges me to a leveling race. I am speechless. What a strange woman. After entering the dungeon, I use all my mental power to summon 4 skeleton warriors. I immediately command them to hunt. I control them with my mind to kill monsters separately. My amplified skeleton warriors slaughter the monsters here with ease. My experience points skyrocket quickly. I level up in less than half an hour. My skills and stats improve significantly. My passive is damage transfer, and Soul Flame reaches level 2. My summon limit increases. The skeleton warrior's attributes surge to 125. My hunting speed increases significantly. Their movements map out the entire area for me. Suddenly, a monster jumps out from the bushes. This is the perfect chance to test my active skill. The 5-fold amplified skill kills it instantly. I reach level 3. My summon limit increases by 3 more. The skeleton warrior's attributes reach 175. Level 5 and 6 monsters become my new prey. I level up again in less than an hour. At this rate, I can reach level 8 before the dungeon closes. Meanwhile, Principal Miller and Lord Sterling discuss our progress. Miller believes Sarah has the best chance to enter Summer Capital Academy. He thinks she only needs to reach level 5 to qualify. This is because Xavier and Moira were also rare classes. They both reached level 5 in their beginner dungeons. He has no idea that I have already reached level 5, but this is still far from my goal. I lead my skeletons to find higher level monsters. Suddenly, a sharp branch shoots toward me. I was sent flying several meters. It attacks any living being. It's a level 8 whip tree. With a single thought, a skeleton warrior slashes at its trunk. It isn't an instant kill. It takes 4 strikes to destroy it. This makes my leveling efficiency much slower. But I don't have to waste time looking for monsters. There are hundreds of whip trees right here. This is the perfect place for me to grind. I summon all of my skeleton warriors. They all charge into the forest at once. After 2.5 hours of fighting, I harvest the experience from the last level 8 whip tree. I am then forcibly teleported out of the dungeon. Principal Miller asks if something went wrong. I tell him I simply finished the dungeon. He is shocked when he sees my level. I tell him I'm not finished yet. I ask for permission to level up in the outskirts of West Sea City. Principal Miller is delighted. Great. I will issue your travel permit right away. He returns to his seat to brag about my progress. The other teachers are stunned to hear I reached level 7. I find a quiet place to meditate. My summoning space has grown to 70. But my current energy only allows for 24 skeleton warriors. It will take time to fill the entire space. Just then, Sarah exits the beginner dungeon at level 5. She is proud of herself for matching the school record. But she is shocked when she sees me meditating. How is it possible for him to be level 7 already? Just then, her father, Lord Sterling, arrives to pick her up. He sees her concern and tells her I cleared the beginner dungeon in 10 hours. Sarah is stunned by the news. She realizes if there were more monsters, I could have reached level 8. The next day, I go to the Divine Summer Empire Exchange to verify my identity. This allows me to take quests and leave the city freely. Quests are ranked by normal difficulty, nightmare difficulty, and even hell difficulty. I leave the city and arrive at the outskirts of West Sea City. Soon, a goblin spots me. It lunges at me with a wooden club. I command my summon, and the goblin is stunned. Its club hits the skeleton warrior's head, but does no damage. The next second, the skeleton warrior kills it instantly. I summon all my skeleton warriors to hunt for monsters. Notifications for kills and loot keep popping up. At this rate, reaching level 15 before the exam will be easy. I have reached level 10, and my summoning space is now 40 out of 100. My skill now summons bronze rank skeleton warriors. My talent, total amplification, has also leveled up. The skill effect has increased from 5x to 10x. My mental power has also significantly improved. The bronze rank skeleton warriors even have active skills now. Just as I feel unstoppable in this area, an arrow suddenly shoots toward me. I can't react in time and get hit in the right shoulder. A dark figure brushes past me. But after we make eye contact, I realize she wasn't the one who attacked me. But soon, 2 strangers appear before me. It's clear the archer is the one who shot me. Instead of apologizing, they ask if I've seen an assassin in black. I don't respond and calmly pull the arrow out of my shoulder. My gaze turns cold. Your arrow just hit me. Apologize. The man gives a dismissive sorry. But internally, he is shocked. That arrow didn't cause me any damage at all. Then, the other mage's expression darkens. He notices the skeleton warriors by my side are undead summons. He sneers, saying anyone with such a class is definitely evil. Fortunately, his teammate warns him not to cause trouble. The mage reluctantly turns and leaves. They have no idea they just narrowly escaped death. If we had actually fought, they would be dead for sure. I continue commanding my skeleton warriors to slaughter monsters. Since reaching level 10, the required EXP has tripled. I need to kill at least 5,000 goblins to level up once. At this rate, I'll only reach level 16 at most before the grand exam. I suddenly remember Moira also reached level 16 before her exam. Even though she is a rare blade dancer, her leveling speed shouldn't have been faster than mine. Did she enter a nightmare dungeon with a team for more EXP? Is that why she was covered in wounds when she returned? With these doubts in mind, I decide to check it out myself tomorrow. Just then, a figure slowly approaches. I immediately go on guard, as no one here is friendly. But at first glance, I see it's Raven, the assassin from earlier. She approaches and asks if I have anything to eat. I hand her a sweet potato. She devours it in an instant. Then she gulps down a massive amount of water. After eating her fill, she asks for my name. I just look at her silently without responding. Realizing I am not a talker, she makes a suggestion. She proposes we use detection on each other. But when our fingertips touch, I don't receive any useful information. However, she stares at my status panel in shock. I've never heard of the necromancer class. So that skeleton from this afternoon was your summon? That's a rare, undead creature. Seeing I still won't speak, she gets impatient. Don't tell me someone as handsome as you is a mute. Speechless, I finally asked why I couldn't see her info. She is thrilled to hear me speak. She pulls out a cloaking badge. She explains it blocks detection skills. Then, she suddenly destroys the badge. Try using detection on me now. I point my finger as requested. Her information appears before my eyes. She is a level 19 shadow assassin. Suddenly, she senses something. She quickly turns her head. I also notice 3 figures on the map surrounding us. Just as Raven is about to say goodbye, an arrow suddenly flies toward us. Luckily, she reacts in time and barely dodges the arrow. But it turns out to be an area marking skill. Arrow marks appear above both of our heads. This is fatal for an assassin who relies on stealth. Several figures emerge from the shadows. I knew you were together. A rat-like assassin and an evil necromancer make a good pair. Raven quickly explains that I have nothing to do with this. She offers to give them the intermediate skill scroll, but they say they prefer killing and looting. Raven immediately tells me to find a chance to escape. She smiles and tells me that the night is a shadow assassin's playground. She claims she can get away, but I know she's just trying to reassure herself. If she could win, they wouldn't have been hunting her earlier. Plus, she has lost her most important advantage, stealth. One of them shouts, signaling the start of the attack. Their mage immediately casts a lighting spell. It dispels the darkness and increases their accuracy. The warrior raises his shield to block any incoming attacks. The archer is already aimed and ready to fire. Their teamwork is perfectly seamless. However, I am completely unimpressed. I raise my hand and summon a skeleton warrior. The mage looks at it with pure disgust. He immediately launches a fireball at me. Raven tries to pull me away to dodge the attack, but she realizes her feet have already been bound by silk threads. At the same time, the archer fires a skill directly at her. Raven's eyes widen. She thinks she's dead for sure, but a second later, her expression freezes in shock. Several dark figures appear out of thin air to shield her. At the same time, the mage's fireball explodes against a skeleton warrior. The archer's skill is also easily blocked by a skeleton warrior. The charging warrior is sent flying by a skeleton warrior as well. Then, the skeleton warrior walks out of the flames completely unharmed. The mage looks on in total disbelief. How is this possible? This kid is only level 10. The other two are also stunned. Their skills are completely useless against my summons. Suddenly, their expressions freeze. At the same time, soul flame ignites on their bodies. Dozens of skeleton warriors surround them. Nearby, Raven's mouth hangs open in shock. With a single thought, I give the command. All the skeleton warriors swarm forward. Seeing this, the mage immediately activates his magic shield, but it cracks after just one hit from a skeleton warrior. Just as the magic shield shatters, the mage finishes chanting his ultimate fire spell. Then, an intense wave of fire explodes outward from his body. Two skeleton warriors are instantly knocked back. But as soon as the flames dissipate, a skeleton warrior charges right at him. In the next second, his body is sliced into 3 pieces. On the other side, the fleeing archer breaks into a cold sweat. A level 20 combat class was killed in less than 3 seconds. Even with nearly 1,000 agility, he can't outrun these skeletons. Meanwhile, the warrior is forced to use his ultimate skill, ultimate defense. It allows him to endure twice the damage for a short time. He then uses a charge skill to try and break through. But I won't let him escape that easily. I command the skeleton warrior to use its active skill. The skeleton's aura instantly surges. The knight is terrified. What kind of monster is this? Its stats are insane, and it can even use skills? With a red flash, his defense is instantly shattered. At this moment, he accepts his death. Raven is completely stunned by the scene. Dante killed 3 level 20 elites without even moving. They drop their equipment and items upon death. However, the gear is useless to both Raven and me. I sell them all to the portable bank. The only useful item is a low-level skill scroll. It allows the user to learn a skill under level 20. But the problem is, I don't know how to use it. Raven quickly notices my confusion. She tells me to just shout the word use. I follow her advice and shout it out loud. Nothing happens, and she teases me, saying my voice sounds nice. It seems I need a medium to trigger the scroll. I try injecting my mental power into it. The skill scroll instantly bursts into flames. I have successfully learned the skill, Corpse Explosion. It detonates a corpse to deal damage within a 1-meter range. It deals damage equal to 10% of the corpse's max health. This skill seems weak at first glance, but with my total amplification talent, it now deals 100% damage within a 10-meter range. It can even detonate the corpses of enemies I just killed. This is a god-tier AoE skill. I woke up from my meditation. Raven was right there with a beautiful smile. My opinion of her improved a lot. She handed me a treasure chest. She said it was a gift for saving her life. Inside, I found an intermediate skill scroll. It can unlock skills between levels 40 and 70. It is worth 100 times more than a basic scroll. I was surprised since she was hunted because of this scroll. Yet now, she was giving it to me for free. It seems she isn't a materialistic girl. Then, she told me a secret. These chests spawn randomly inside dungeons. She found this one by accident, and luckily obtained an intermediate skill scroll. But those 3 men happened to see her. That is why she fled from Clear Sea City to West Sea City. She then asked me which academy I wanted to join. I said Summer Capital Academy, and she told me to visit the Divine Summer Tower. Rewards are doubled for the first challenge. The higher the floor I reach, the better. This would help me earn a lot of points. At Summer Capital Academy, points are more valuable than gold. While talking, she fell asleep by my side. I took the chance to meditate and recover my spirit. The next morning, Raven and I went our separate ways. Before leaving, she told me to level up quickly. She said I could carry her once I became stronger. After she left, I returned to where we fought yesterday. Looking at the 3 corpses, I had a bold idea. I slowly raised my right hand. An eerie red light swirled around my palm. Scorching flames ignited from the corpses. They exploded with a bang. Enhanced by total amplification, Corpse Explosion is a god-tier AoE skill. With this insane skill, I was confident I could clear the West Sea Mine dungeon. Soon, I arrived at the dungeon entrance. I heard many people shouting, looking for teammates. It seemed the difficulty of this dungeon was quite high. I walked through the crowd with a skeleton warrior by my side. A selection panel appeared as I approached the entrance. I could choose between normal and nightmare difficulty. Suddenly, a man used an inspection skill on me. He failed to get any of my information. He was also nearly scared to death by my skeleton warrior. Seeing how strong I was, Others began inviting me to their teams. I rejected them all one by one. I chose Nightmare difficulty without hesitation, leaving the crowd in shock. Is this kid crazy? Even our whole team isn't sure we can clear Nightmare mode. He actually dares to solo it? Upon entering, I immediately found a goblin monster. I was surprised after seeing its attributes. As expected of a Nightmare dungeon, the monsters are several times stronger than those in normal dungeons. But they still can't compare to my skeleton warriors. I summoned all of my skeleton warriors. With a single thought, 2 skeletons insta-killed a level 14 mine guard. I gained 4,200 experience points. That is 10 times more experience than the normal dungeon. I ordered all my skeleton warriors to move out. I will clear every single corner of this cave. I won't miss a single one of these little monsters. Notifications for kills and loot kept popping up. I leveled up in less than 5 minutes. My skeleton warrior count reached 56. Summon space, 56/110. I noticed that after level 10, my base attribute growth increased. My spirit is now 400 and agility is 120. All attributes now increase by 20 points per level instead of 10. Level 11. My skeleton warrior's total attributes have reached a terrifying 1,700. Soul Flame and Summon Skeleton Warrior are now level 11. If Raven were here, she might know why this is happening. A sudden roar interrupted my thoughts. A massive Mine Wolf King appeared before me. It is the elite boss of this dungeon. Its attributes are higher than my skeleton warriors, but my advantage lies in numbers. I ordered all my skeleton warriors to swarm it. The Wolf King used its roar skill, but the damage wasn't enough to insta-kill my skeletons. My skeletons countered with a frenzied strike. It was covered in wounds in an instant. It used roar once again. It blew the skeleton warriors off its body. It turned to flee as a nearby gate slowly opened. Countless glowing red eyes appeared from the darkness. Hundreds of fierce wolves stepped out. Their stat panels appeared before me. They are weak, but they will make good experience points. I sent a skeleton warrior to test their strength. It insta-killed one with a single slash. I gained 2,800 experience points. Next, I used Corpse Explosion on its body. A second later, a violent explosion erupted among the wolves. It wiped out a large pack of wolves instantly. Kill level 14 Mine Wolf. Experience plus 2,800. I gained a massive amount of experience. I continued to use Corpse Explosion on the remaining bodies. The sound of explosions echoed continuously through the mine. My experience bar began to climb rapidly. It jumped from 32% to 72% at level 11. Once the wolves were dead, the Wolf King suddenly appeared. However, it was standing right on top of the wolf corpses. I'll be merciful and send it to join its pack. After one final massive explosion, the Wolf King fell. I gained 15,000 experience points. At least the materials it dropped are quite valuable. I continued deeper into the tunnel. The deeper I went, the higher the monster levels became. Experience plus 4,500. It's only been an hour since I entered the dungeon, and I've already leveled up. At this efficiency, after a few more runs, I might even reach level 19. I soon found a giant goblin sleeping at the deepest part of the mine. I immediately used my detection skill on it. Its stats are terrifying. It also possesses 3 active skills. Skills: Flame Breath, Sweep, Repel. This is much more dangerous than the Wolf King. My detection skill suddenly woke it up. It leaped up with a deafening roar. It swung its giant blade directly at my head. However, the blade stopped abruptly just 2.5 centimeters away from me. It was as if an invisible force prevented the blade from moving an inch further. This is the effect of my passive skill, Damage Transfer. All damage is taken by my summons. A skeleton warrior's skull begins to crack. The soul fire inside it starts to dim. In the next second, its body shatters. Frenzy Strike. Immediately, a second one shatters as well. I'm surprised a casual strike could take out 2 of my skeleton warriors. I realize my weakness is my low constitution. If that blade hit the skeleton warrior directly, it might not have been a one-shot kill. I need to boost my constitution later. The skeleton warriors are being overwhelmed by the Goblin King. The stat difference between them is just too large. So, I summon all my skeleton warriors to swarm it. Soon, the Goblin King is covered in skeleton warriors. Its wounds continue to pile up. Suddenly, it emits a blinding light and leaps into the air. The shockwave from its landing sends the skeleton warriors flying. Then, it uses the skill Flame Breath. The skeleton warriors are engulfed in scorching flames. Their health begins to drop rapidly. This is bad. I have to interrupt that skill. I try using Soul Flame on it. Not only did it interrupt the casting, but it also set its head on fire. The skeleton warriors swarm back in at once. The Goblin King's eyes are filled with resentment. Its massive body collapses to the ground. I received 40,000 EXP and the Robes of Knowledge. A bronze dagger and the Robes of Knowledge dropped. I also obtained the Goblin King's crystal core. I immediately put on the robes. It gives a 5% cooldown reduction and plus 10 to spirit and physique. I can use it now that I am level 12. I have finally reached level 12. My spirit is now 510, and my summon limit has increased to 60. My skills have also improved significantly. I happily teleport out of the dungeon. The crowd is shocked to see me come out alive. Look, he is wearing the Robes of Knowledge. He really cleared the Nightmare dungeon alone. Everyone immediately crowds around me. I ignore them and walk toward the wilderness. I will meditate to recover my spirit while the dungeon resets. This run made me realize my physique is still a weakness. I also understand my skills better now. Corpse Explosion is a god-tier EVOE skill if used correctly. Soul Flame can interrupt enemy skills. Its defense-ignoring damage is hard for even a boss to endure. 12 hours pass quickly. My spirit power is fully recovered. I head back to the West Sea Mine dungeon to level up again. But the entrance is blocked by a large group of people. A man is confronting a guild leader. The Dynasty Guild is being too overbearing. Why won't you let us enter the dungeon? A Dynasty Guild member suddenly attacks him with fire. The man is instantly sent flying. Everyone is furious, but too afraid to speak. How dare a mere solo player question the Dynasty Guild? If anyone else wants to die, step forward and try. I ask a man nearby what is going on. He tells me the Dynasty Guild wants the Goblin King's crystal core. But the core only drops in nightmare dungeons. Only one core drops every 100 days. Today marks exactly 100 days since the last drop. That is why they are blocking everyone from entering. They previously posted a bounty for the core, but they only offered a third of the market price. No sane person would sell the core to them for that. The core can be crafted into a Goblin King's ring. It provides plus 10 to all stats. It also increases all skill levels by 1. They want it because Slade is applying to Summer Capital Academy. They are determined to get that gear at any cost. With my questions answered, I walk toward the entrance. I don't care about their guild. No one stops me from leveling up. The man behind me keeps telling me not to throw my life away. I ignore him and keep moving forward. I speak coldly to the Dynasty Guild members. Move. You are blocking my way into the dungeon. Ignis looks at me with interest. Do you know who you are talking to, kid? My gaze turns sharp. Don't make me repeat myself. Ignis quickly uses an appraisal skill on me. He sees I am only a level 12 newbie. He has never even heard of my class before. But my stare suddenly makes him shiver. Why does this kid's gaze feel so terrifying? He tries to stay calm and points his staff at me. Take one more step and I will kill you. The onlookers tell me not to be reckless. I ignore them and keep walking forward. The Dynasty Guild members immediately draw their weapons. A skeleton warrior lunges at Ignis. Ignis activates his magic shield and sneers. You can't break my shield even if I stand still. But the skeleton warrior cracks it with a single strike. Before he can react, another heavy blow follows. The shield shatters instantly. Ignis is sent flying backward. In a panic, he orders everyone to attack at once. A knight uses charge on the skeleton warrior. I'll smash this summon to pieces. Instead, he bounces off like he hit a steel wall. Seeing the summoned strength, Ignis shouts, "Just kill that kid. These disgusting summons will disappear once he's dead." The guild members all turn their weapons toward me. 6 arrows fly straight at me. The onlookers shout for me to watch out. But I have no intention of dodging. I raise my hand and summon more skeleton warriors. Clang. The arrows are all easily blocked. Everyone is shocked by what they see. He has more than one summon. 2 skeleton warriors charge at the group. Ignis tells the knights to buy him time to cast a spell. A giant fire snake lunges toward me. This is the level 20 skill, Fire Snake Dance. I remain still as a black vortex appears before me again. Just as Ignis thinks he has won, his fire snake explodes harmlessly against my skeleton warriors. Then, 30 skeletons charge out from the flames. Ignis panics, realizing I am a monster. How powerful can a necromancer truly be? Dante shows no fear against dozens of elite guild members. He nullifies a top-tier expert's attack with a wave of his hand. His summoned skeletons are seemingly immortal. Ignis completely loses his composure. He orders the Dynasty Guild to form a battle line. Supporters cast various buffs on the team. Even as they power up, I remain calm. I warn the onlookers to move further away. I raise my hand and cast Soul Flame. A second later, a member of the Dynasty Guild is engulfed in intense fire. A healer immediately casts a healing spell on him. Ignis smiles, proud of his healer's quick reaction. The healing was perfectly timed. However, the healer covers her mouth in horror. The man collapses instantly as everyone watches in terror. I lead my undead army into the guild's ranks. A knight activates his ultimate defense to block us. But in the blink of an eye, the skeletons shatter his shield. He is also consumed by my soul flame. Ignis is now completely terrified. This man is nothing but a monster. He has completely lost his will to fight. His only thought now is to escape. But I won't let him run away from me. I immediately use Corpse Explosion on the fallen knight's body. A massive explosion sweeps across 10 meters. The damage dealt is based on the knight's maximum health. Everyone caught in the blast is instantly detonated. In a flash, every member of the Dynasty Guild is dead. Even their bodies have turned to ash. I calmly wipe the blood from my face. Then I slowly walk into the dungeon. The onlookers panic at the sight. They know the Dynasty Guild won't let this go. Everyone quickly flees the area. Half an hour later, Slade emerges from the dungeon. He is completely confused. The once crowded area is now deserted. Even his own guild members have vanished. He suspects something major happened. But he knows his guild's strength is unmatched. Plus, there are no signs of a struggle. He assumes they simply left early. Satisfied with his logic, he leads his group away. Meanwhile, I kill the Goblin King once again. This time, it only drops a low-level core and gear. It seems the Goblin King's crystal core won't drop again. However, I found a skill book that suits me well. It boosts mage skill power by 3%, buffing Soul Flame and Corpse Explosion. I have now reached level 13. I have enough time for 5 more nightmare runs. That should bring me up to level 16. I step back into the teleportation array. When I emerge, the area is completely empty. I realize that leaving was their best choice. Otherwise, they might have gotten into trouble. The next morning, Sarah, now level 10, arrived to challenge the West Sea Mine dungeon. She was completely stunned when she saw me entering the dungeon alone. He can already solo the dungeon, but I am an elemental mage, a rare class. My leveling speed won't be slower than his. Her eyes became filled with determination. She had no idea that I wasn't soloing a normal dungeon, but a nightmare one. I stand before the Goblin King once again. I don't hold back and summon my skeleton legion to surround it. In less than 2 minutes, the Goblin King falls at my feet in defeat. I shrug, showing I didn't really want to kill it. But it's the fastest way to level up. Level 13, 80%. Don't worry, only 3 more runs left. I went to the wilderness to meditate during the dungeon cooldown. Suddenly, a figure approached. An exhausted Sarah asked me about my level. I calmly told her I was already level 14. Sarah was shocked. What kind of insane leveling speed is this? Her team barely reached level 11 after clearing the normal dungeon twice. Even if you solo, you shouldn't be this fast. She turned around to continue her dungeon runs. I was confused. Doesn't she have a cooldown? An hour later, she emerged and saw me still sitting there. She immediately called her team to go again. She was clearly pushing herself to the limit. After another hour, Sarah collapsed in front of me, panting. By then, she had reached level 12. I finally couldn't help but ask her, why can you ignore the dungeon's cooldown? How strong is a man who became a necromancer? Others need 2.5 hours to clear a dungeon. I only need 5 minutes. To catch up to me, Sarah kept grinding with teams. But she realized that no matter how hard she tried, the gap between us only grew larger. She finally gave up and slumped down next to me. I didn't offer much of an explanation. Instead, I asked her how she bypassed the cooldown. Sarah was delighted. It seems there are some things you don't know. Say something nice to me, and I'll tell you. I was left speechless. Seeing my silence, she took out a pocket watch and handed it to me. This cooldown amulet can negate the dungeon's cooldown, but it only works 10 times. I was surprised. Such a useful item existed? This must be very precious. My dad looked like it hurt to give it to me, so it's probably expensive. Suddenly, she cried out. The exam is in just 2.5 days. I need to use my remaining 7 charges. I still need 9 runs to ensure I reach level 15. I suddenly had an idea. I can carry you through the dungeon to ensure you reach level 15. You won't have to lift a finger. But the condition is that we use that amulet together. Sarah immediately agreed. Good. I'm tired and could use a strong fighter like you. After resting for 2 hours, I led her toward the dungeon entrance. I used a cooling charm and selected the nightmare difficulty. This gave Sarah a cold sweat. Did you just choose nightmare level? When she saw the monster stats inside, she panicked. Dante, are you crazy? You actually chose the nightmare difficulty. We're going to die. She immediately wanted to leave the dungeon. But she hesitated, fearing I would laugh at her. I explained that this was the fastest way to level up. I told her to stay close, and she would be safe. What happened next left Sarah in total shock. Monsters several times stronger than those in normal dungeons. Couldn't deal a single scratch to my skeleton warriors. They could only flee in panic from my skeletons. We soon reached the lair of the elite boss, the Mine Wolf King. I threw monster corpses around the Wolf King. Then, I used my corpse explosion skill. This is an efficient way to save time. As the corpses exploded among the wolves, Sarah's experience points skyrocketed. A second later, the Wolf King collapsed before her terrified eyes. Her 4-man team had struggled for half an hour to kill this boss. I killed it instantly with a wave of my hand. If she hadn't seen it herself, she would never believe a level 10 class could solo a nightmare dungeon. But the next scene shocked her again. The Goblin King usually took her team over an hour to reach. Now, it took less than 5 minutes. While she was dazed, the Goblin King died to my corpse explosion. At the same time, I reached level 15. Only now did she realize the gap between us was not something hard work could ever bridge. She walked over to the dropped loot. Unfortunately, no staff had dropped. The Goblin Staff is the best gear for mages under level 20. She could buy one, but she didn't want to ask her father for money. Then, I tossed her the staff from my previous run. Seeing Sarah's confusion, I showed her my magic book. I told her I didn't need staves. Sarah clenched her fists. She thought I didn't even care about the extra stats. I knelt down and patted the Goblin King's head. Sorry, I need to kill you 5 more times. I left a stunned Sarah behind and headed for the teleportation circle. Sarah actually found my behavior quite cute. We cleared the dungeon 5 more times over the next half hour. All the cooldown talismans were finally used up. Sarah was overjoyed to reach level 14. Getting into Summer Capital Academy was now a certainty. You're almost level 16 now, Sarah said. Do you want to aim for the top rank in the exams? The provincial topper gets massive points and a chance to join God Creation Academy. It is the most prestigious academy in the Divine Summer Empire. Only the elite of the elite are admitted there. The only person from West Sea City to ever get in was our senior, Xavier. If you can make it in there, Principal Miller would probably wake up laughing from his dreams. Hearing this, I immediately became interested. If I get the chance, I must give it a try. Then I noticed my best friend Benny was being rejected while trying to join a team. After all, he is only a level 11 knight. His level is too low to tank monsters. Even ordinary teams require at least level 13. Seeing this, I offered to take him through the dungeon. Sarah had no objections. Meanwhile, the leader of the Dynasty Guild was furious. Have you lost your mind? How could you even think of blocking the dungeon entrance? Do you think the professionals of the Divine Summer Empire are just for show? Stay in the guild for the next few days and don't go anywhere. However, Slade asked what should be done about the others. The leader sneered. I have already sent people to investigate, to eliminate so many of our experts at once. That person's power is beyond your concern. On the first day of the final exam, the examiner targeted me. To increase the difficulty, he assigned me high-level monsters. But I simply used my soul flame skill. The high-level monster instantly turned to ash. The examiner was completely stunned by the sight. Earlier, Sarah and I had invited Benny to clear the dungeon with us. He was deeply moved that 2 top players were willing to carry him. You guys are my saviors. Then he gave us a mischievous look. So, tell me more about the juicy gossip between you two. Sarah was instantly furious. If you don't shut up, I'll rip your mouth apart. Seeing this, Benny quickly made a gentlemanly gesture to keep quiet. From now on, I'll follow you two anywhere. Hearing this, Sarah finally calmed down. But a second later, Benny gave me a thumbs up. Good luck, Dante. Try to win Sarah over tonight. As soon as he finished, a fireball shot toward him. He ran away in terror, while Sarah fumed with her hands on her hips. That big mouth of his really needs a lesson. Soon, we arrived at the dungeon entrance. When he saw me select the nightmare difficulty, Benny was scared out of his mind. Boss, are you sure you didn't pick the wrong difficulty? One hit from a nightmare monster, and I'm dead. Seeing his cowardice, Sarah snapped at him. You're not the one tanking, so what are you afraid of? Then, I used corpse explosion to insta-kill the Goblin King. Benny stared at the boss's corpse in disbelief. A nightmare boss that I'm too scared to look at is already dead? He immediately grabbed onto my leg. Boss, I'm following you from now on. I'll follow your every command. Sarah started to mock him. You're a knight. Have some dignity. Don't be so spineless. Who needs dignity? With the boss around, what use am I as a knight? After that, we just had to wait for the big exam to start. Meanwhile, the principals gathered on the city wall. They were waiting for their students as the exam starts tomorrow. The top student from school number 3 was a level 12 gladiator. School number 2 had a level 13 Hawkeye archer. But the students from school number 1 were still nowhere to be seen. The other principals began to gloat. I heard 2 geniuses from your school are applying to Summer Capital Academy. But it seems they won't even make it here. Principal Miller grew worried. Could something have happened to them? Just then, several figures appeared against the sunset. Seeing us return, the principal breathed a sigh of relief. Benny had already reached level 12. Sarah's level had risen to 15. The teachers from other schools were filled with envy. Our top student is only level 13. Yet someone from your school reached level 15. But what happened next shocked them even more. My level had reached a record-breaking level 16. When they saw the rare weapons we were carrying, they realized just how many times we had cleared the dungeon. The principal happily sent us home on the bus. The next day, the highly anticipated grand exam began. The principal handed out teleportation stones. Crushing them would transport us to the exam site. After I teleported, I looked around. Tens of thousands of candidates had gathered in the square. Suddenly, a voice rang out as a tall tower descended from the sky. The trial tower is open. Different classes will face different exam scenarios. Combat classes will be sent to the battlefield. Support classes will be sent to non-combat areas. After passing the basic test, you can choose your difficulty. Different difficulties and results will yield different points. These points will determine your final exam grade. You are permitted to use any equipment you brought with you. Apart from that, no other items are allowed. Otherwise, you will be disqualified. The candidates began lining up to enter the trial tower. When it was my turn to enter, the people at the top of the tower began to discuss me. He is the necromancer reported from West Sea City. According to the rules for rare mage classes, he is level 16, so let's send a monster 2 levels higher. A high-level mage monster appeared before me. The exam countdown began. As soon as it started, I used Soul Flame. In just 0.1 seconds, the monster turned to ash. The examiners were in complete disbelief. While others fought for their lives, I was casually eating a sweet potato. The examiners were shocked by this scene. In my exam room, my summons were doing all the work. Every skeleton warrior could one-shot the monsters. Right after my Soul Flame killed the mage monster instantly, the examiners lost their composure. What should we do? He killed it in an instant. We can't determine the upper limit of his power. An old man then made a suggestion. Test him using the difficulty level of a legendary class. A level 20 monster soon appeared before me. I used Soul Flame and one-shot it again. Seeing this, the old man decided to stop the test. Start the second round immediately. An announcement came over the speakers. The first round of the exam has ended. Total number of participants, 10,632. 5,200 people have passed. The results are out. A second later, everyone's scores appeared before them. In the next second, everyone's exam results appeared. My score of 0.1 put me far ahead. After seeing this, Nero, the vice president of the Dynasty Guild, exclaimed that I must have cheated. Looking at the rankings, I wondered if I should hold back. After all, my score might scare people to death. Then, the broadcast announced the official start of the second round. We had to choose one of 3 difficulty levels. Killing harder monsters grants more points. The time limit is 30 minutes. To catch up with the top 3, Nero chose Hell difficulty without hesitation. Sarah knew she wasn't suited for fighting strong monsters alone. She chose the normal dungeon to win through quantity instead. The second place student had a rare assassin class. They were very strong in close combat and duels. So, she also chose hell difficulty. At that moment, all the examiners were watching me. They all wanted to see which difficulty I would pick. Naturally, I chose the highest difficulty, hell. After all, even I am scared of my own combat stamina. A level 13 elite monster immediately appeared in front of me, but I didn't even bother looking at its stats. It was so weak that 2 skeleton warriors would be enough. A skeleton warrior killed the elite monster with just 1 normal attack. Unfortunately, it takes 5 seconds for a monster to respawn after it dies. The teachers were in complete disbelief when they saw this. He could actually summon 2 skeletons that could one-shot hell-level monsters. Meanwhile, Nero and the others were exhausted and covered in sweat. But Dante was actually eating a sweet potato during the exam. Soon, 30 minutes passed. Nero was thrilled when he heard the announcement. He couldn't wait to see the leaderboard, but he was in total disbelief when he saw it. Monsters spawn every 5 seconds. The maximum possible kills in 30 minutes is 320. Yet Dante actually killed 301. Does he not need any time to kill them? Even the principals were shocked by my results. Even the legendary Xavier only scored 700 points back then. The third round began, where candidates chose a boss difficulty. I still chose the hardest difficulty. But the monster's stats disappointed me again. I hope the next 2 rounds will be more challenging. With 1 frenzy strike, my skeleton warrior one-shot the boss. The teachers were shocked once again. They had never seen a summoned creature use skills before. The round soon ended. Benny's total score was 302. My score was still far ahead of the others. Then, another announcement was made. The difficulty of the 4th round will increase significantly. You will face 10 waves of monsters. Each wave consists of 10 monsters. Even if you haven't cleared the previous wave, the next wave will spawn every minute. The final wave will be led by a boss. You must kill them all to pass. The old man laughed, wondering how I would handle this. He believed this round still wouldn't be a problem for me. I raised my hand and summoned more skeleton warriors. While others reveal their trump cards during the exam, I've only used less than 1/10 of my power. Yet, the examiners are already shocked speechless. In the 4th round, I summoned 25 skeleton warriors. Paired with my soul flame skill, I can still relax and eat my sweet potato. The examiner's blood pressure spiked just watching me. How many trump cards does this kid have? The 4th round was absolutely zero pressure for him. Other candidates wish their skills had no cooldown. The students watching this are glad they gave up on this round. Seeing this, Benny knew it was time to show off. He told everyone how I soloed the nightmare dungeon. As time passed, only 5 candidates remained in the arena. The last wave of monsters began to spawn. Nero used his trump card, Berserk. His strength and constitution increased by 500% for 5 minutes. Afterward, he will be in a weakened state for 30 minutes. He slaughtered the monsters like a god of death. Soon, the examiner announced the results. Only 5 people passed the 4th round. My points are still far ahead of everyone else. Sarah and the others thought their scores were enough to enter Summer Capital Academy, but it wasn't that simple. Don't think you're safe just because you're in the top 5. You can still be eliminated if you fail the last round. You will be teleported into the battle realm. Various types of monsters will spawn inside. The first wave will have over 100 monsters. This includes elite types, leaders, and even bosses. The battle realm is divided into 5 stages. Each stage grants different points. In stage 5, monsters are level 19. Felix will also face level 19 monsters in his stage. At the highest stage, level 19 monsters are worth 500 points each. In stage 4, level 18 monsters are worth 400 points each. Once you enter the battle realm, the examiners can only see your score changes. So use whatever trump cards you have. The next moment, I am teleported into the battle realm. The first wave of monsters has already spawned. I can see their levels, but I cannot see their attributes. To my surprise, a skeleton warrior cannot one-shot them. If 1 hit isn't enough, then 2 will do. I then use corpse explosion on the monster's body. It instantly kills 10 more monsters. Meanwhile, the examiner outside looks at my score in disbelief. A 5,000-point jump? Did he kill 10 monsters at once? I plan to wait for more monsters to gather before using corpse explosion again. However, I realize the corpses here disappear after only 10 seconds. I have no choice but to summon more skeleton warriors. I use them to lure the remaining monsters together. Soon, all the monsters are gathered in one spot. Corpse explosion. I activate the skill immediately. A continuous chain of explosions erupts. My score begins to increase rapidly. It jumps by 4,500 points in an instant. The old man is stunned by this sight. What kind of class is a necromancer exactly? Where is his limit? After clearing the wave, I wait for the next spawn. The next second, countless fireballs rain down from above. I quickly order my skeleton warriors to block the attack. Once the fire stops, a group of level 16 orc mages appears. I smile calmly. Now it's my turn. Other candidates collapse in fear when facing these enhanced monsters. But to me, they are just experience points for leveling up. I summon 100 skeleton warriors. The other candidates are left speechless in shock. One use of my corpse explosion skill even makes the abyssal demon king break into a cold sweat. Hundreds of monsters corrupted by abyssal energy spawned at once. None of the other candidates dared to step forward. But I refuse to just sit and wait for death. I walk toward the horde of monsters. Behind me, Sarah calls out to stop me. Dante, what are you doing? There are over 100 enhanced monsters there. I ignore her warning and keep walking. My actions immediately catch the attention of the other candidates. It ignites their fighting spirit. Soon, all the candidates follow my lead. People of the Divine Summer Empire do not fear death. When I am within 50 meters of the monsters, I begin summoning more skeleton warriors. In just a few moments, 100 skeleton warriors appear on the battlefield. Their incredible speed shocks everyone. Their damage and defense are even more terrifying. They only lose 1/5 of their health after taking a direct hit. Based on this, I estimate the strength of these enhanced monsters is around 3,000. Based on the damage they take, I estimate their constitution is around 3,500. Although their health is high, my corpse explosion skill will deal even more damage. To my surprise, killing these monsters grants a massive amount of experience. I use corpse explosion without hesitation. The violent explosion catches every student's attention. Before they can react, more powerful explosions erupt within the monster swarm. In an instant, the monsters on the battlefield are wiped out. The students are stunned by the sight. This also draws the attention of the Abyssal Demon King in the Blood Moon. More monsters surge out from the Blood Moon. The students are surrounded once again. I realize that to save everyone, I must defeat the demon in the Blood Moon. I hurl a monster's corpse toward the Blood Moon. As it makes contact, I activate Corpse Explosion. At the same time, I cast Soul Flame. A terrifying scream echoes across the battlefield. Impossible. No class in this world should be able to burn my soul. Outside, the experts repairing the trial tower notice something. The mysterious elder looks horrified. The interference from the abyssal power is rapidly weakening. Hearing this, Magnus releases a suffocating aura. Did all the students in the tower die? The elder quickly explains. I can still feel human presences inside the tower. However, the demon's presence has weakened significantly. It seems to be heavily wounded. Hearing this, Magnus finally sighs in relief. Next time, finish your sentence all at once. You scare me to death. But you said the abyssal demon in the tower is heavily injured? How could examinees at level 10 or so manage that? Meanwhile, a golden light shoots up inside the tower. Corpse Explosion reached level 2. I am surprised to see the skill level up. Corpse Explosion level 2 detonates a corpse. The explosion range has increased to 20 meters. The damage has increased to 150% of the corpse's health. A massive swarm of monsters surges from behind me. I simply smile at the sight. This is the perfect time to test my upgraded Corpse Explosion. An abyssal demon has descended upon the exam grounds. Other students are terrified, but this isn't enough to make me use my full power. Level 16 Fill and Orc mages have just spawned in my area. These level 16 Orc mages continue to refresh. I summon 10 skeleton warriors. They are enough to deal with these fragile mages. It turns out to be easier than I expected. The skeleton warriors kill them in a single hit. Then, I activate my Corpse Explosion skill. In an instant, dozens of monster corpses explode at once. The battlefield within 100 meters becomes a death zone. Hundreds of monsters die instantly in the blast. My score increases by 6,000 points. The examiner is completely stunned. Did he just one-shot over 100 monsters at once? His summons are already so powerful. Is his area of effect skill this insane too? They think my class has surpassed the legendary rank. It can even rival the most elite classes. The aura of death on the battlefield grows stronger. This means the second stage is about to begin. 40 orc squads spawn at the same time. The monsters are split into two types: tanky warriors and high-damage archers. This formation is nearly impossible for most candidates. But it won't be a problem for me. The examiners watching the screen grow nervous. In the history of the Divine Summer Empire's exams, only one person has ever cleared the third stage of the battle realm. They hope I can break that record today. Kale is in third with 6,200 points, but my score suddenly jumps by another 20,000. Seeing this, the examiners can no longer stay calm. Has he already awakened a talent? If so, it is a great blessing for the human race. If he awakens another talent during his second job change, he will be a rare dual talent user. Meanwhile, the trial tower floating above the Divine Summer Empire begins to glow with a faint purple light. A dark purple beam shoots toward the trial tower. A powerful voice booms from inside the tower. How dare you? A giant golden hand reaches out from the tower. The demon clone smiles wickedly. You can't stop me. Two terrifying powers collide. The golden hand quickly crushes the demon clone. However, the trial tower is corrupted by abyssal energy. Three powerful masters try to purify it. They realize it will take at least an hour. They are worried about the students taking the exam. On my battlefield, all monsters suddenly disappear. All students in the battle realm are teleported to the same spot. While we are all confused, a man named Magnus appears above us. Everyone screams when they see him. God Magnus has descended upon the exam site. The examiners realize what his appearance means. Something terrible has happened to the battle realm. Magnus tells the students the truth. Demons from the abyss have invaded the battle realm. They want to kill the geniuses of the Divine Summer Empire. It will take 1 hour to fix the space's rules. You must survive on your own for that hour. The examiners panic after hearing this. The enemy wants to destroy the future of our empire. Most students are paralyzed with fear. Even the weakest abyss demons are level 70. These students stand no chance against them. However, I am not worried. If level 70 demons truly entered this space, we would all be dead long before an hour passed. Magnus would not bother warning us if it was hopeless. The demon's power must be suppressed in this realm. A student points to the sky and yells. A blood moon hangs over the battle realm. Abyssal energy pours out from the moon. All warrior classes rush to the front. They vow to protect their teammates with their lives. A corrupted orc warrior laughs wickedly. As expected of the Divine Summer Empire's geniuses. Too bad, none of you will survive today. The group is relieved to see the monsters are only level 19. They can't break the level limit of the battle realm. Suddenly, a swarm of abyssal monsters steps out of the blood moon. Seeing this, Sarah grabs my arm tightly. There are so many, can we really win? I smile calmly at her question. If they are only at this level, I can handle them. Though I am only a level 17 student who hasn't graduated, I killed a level 90 abyssal demon king that examiners couldn't beat. My final score crushed everyone to make me the national champion. My corpse explosion skill just leveled up during the battle. It now deals damage equal to 15% of the corpse's health. The explosion range has also doubled. Monsters that required many hits can now be killed in one shot. In the blink of an eye, my level increases. The other students look on in absolute shock. This guy is actually using abyssal monsters to level up. Suddenly, the monster corpses are thrown into the air. They rush toward the blood moon in the sky. The abyssal demon king knows his remnant soul is about to vanish. I will remember you. I will tear you to pieces when you reach the abyss. As he speaks, massive explosions erupt around him. His body is instantly blown into countless fragments. The battle realm finally returns to normal. Experts outside the tower feel the abyssal consciousness fade. They are shocked to find that not a single student was injured. This is the opposite of what they expected. They desperately want to know what happened in the battle realm. The experts decide to teleport the examinees back first. Then they will review everything that happened inside the battle realm. While Sarah is asking about Dante, a phantom of Magnus descends into the battle realm. Magnus tells them that since the abyssal power has vanished, they will be sent back. All students are teleported to the plaza to wait for their results. As the students leave, the experts begin reviewing the records of the battle realm. They discover that Dante defeated the abyssal demon king all by himself. Everyone is shocked by Dante's incredible strength. They didn't expect this kid to turn the tide of battle on his own. With such a powerful class and high intelligence, he has the potential to be a top expert. A moment later, Dante's name appears at the very top of the plaza screen. He ranks first with a total of 34,605 points. Seeing this, Principal Miller jumps with excitement. He is proud that Dante has brought such honor to their school. He then notices that Sarah has secured the second-place rank. The other school principals are incredibly envious of Miller's students. Soon, the results of the other three teammates also appear. Nero is completely stunned when he sees his own score. His evaluation is marked as poor. This means that not only Summer Capital Academy, but no top 20 academy will accept him. Realizing this, Nero instantly loses his mind and starts shouting. He screams, "Why did I get a poor rating?" The next second, he is declared to have violated exam rules and is expelled from the grounds. Just as the examiner is about to announce the provincial top scorer, an emergency message arrives. The Empire suddenly announces that Dante is the national top scorer for this year's exam. Hearing this news, Principal Miller is so shocked that he freezes in place. He is overjoyed and feels like he is walking on air. After learning I am a student from his school, the people nearby are amazed. They all say they will send their children to #1 high school in the future. Later, I return home to share the good news with my grandmother's portrait. Suddenly, Principal Miller arrives with a mysterious man. The mysterious man emits a suffocating aura. Sensing danger, I quickly summon skeleton warriors for protection. The man immediately hides his aura upon seeing this. He remarks that such a reaction is worthy of the national top scorer. Once I see who he is, I quickly bow to him. It turns out this mysterious man is Magnus. He says he is here to discuss my admission to Summer Capital Academy. During our talk, he suddenly notices my skeleton warriors. He asks why their attributes are only 250. He wonders how I could save the situation in the battle realm with such stats. I am shocked to hear his question. I realize that others cannot see the skeleton's attributes after my talent boost. Magnus doesn't believe such low stats could defeat a demon king. He asks me what kind of talent I have awakened. Hearing this, Principal Miller also asks me if it is true. I have no choice but to tell them I awakened an amplification talent. I explain that it can increase the power of all my skills. Magnus then reveals he has two reasons for his visit. First, he wants to give me the rewards from Summer Capital Academy. Second, he wants me to join a trial in 2 days. However, he says he cannot reveal the details of the trial yet. Hearing this, I immediately agree to participate. My skeleton warriors once crushed all the geniuses during the big exam. But now, they are being looked down upon by ordinary students at the academy. In the end, the skeleton warrior only needs to give them a single look. That was enough to scare the man and make him stumble back. After I agreed to take the trial, Magnus gave me the rewards for being the national top scorer. This included a Sherfang points card and 2 skill scrolls. I also received qualification to enter the Divine Summer Tower. This was the most valuable reward of all. Even Magnus warned me to be fully prepared before entering the tower. After explaining everything, he led me to Summer Capital Academy. He even personally escorted me to the boys' dormitory. The dorm manager was shocked when he saw this. He had never heard of Lord Magnus being so kind to a freshman. Furthermore, my tone toward Magnus was very cold. He immediately guessed that I was this year's national top scorer. He then began explaining the dormitory fees. He suggested I save as many points as possible as a new student. He told me a 4-person or 2-person room would be good enough. However, I ignored his advice and chose a single room. Although the man was shocked, he didn't try to stop me. He took me to the single room and pulled out a card reader. When he saw the balance on the card, he was shocked again. He couldn't believe I had over 100,000 points. No wonder I didn't hesitate to choose a single room. Seeing his shock, I explained it was the reward for being the top scorer. The man seemed calm as he left the room, but he was actually devastated. He hadn't even earned a fraction of that since he started working there. It is truly frustrating to compare yourself to others. I then began to meditate to recover my mental power. I didn't wake up until someone knocked on my door the next day. When I opened the door, I saw a raven, whom I hadn't seen in a long time. I gave her the Goblin King's crystal core as a greeting gift. This item was quite valuable. Even the wealthy raven was shocked by the gift. This crystal core could be used to craft high-tier grade 5 jewelry. It was worth at least 1,000,000 gold coins on the market. I didn't think much of it since it wasn't very useful to me. After finishing my enrollment procedures, Raven asked me to follow her to meet someone. We soon arrived at a classroom. I was there to meet the other students participating in the trial. Level 23 Sierra was the leader of this squad. A male mage there became upset when he heard I was only level 17. He complained that they shouldn't just bring any random person along. Raven immediately told him that I was the top national student. However, the man became even more arrogant. He said he had seen many top students before. Compared to the Hidden Dragon squad, they were nothing. He walked up to me and spoke coldly. He told me not to act entitled just because Magnus recommended me. In the Hidden Dragon squad, only strength mattered. He said they could carry me through the trial, but I had to keep my mouth shut and stay quiet. He warned me not to drag them down, or he would deal with me himself. I sighed deeply after hearing his threats. I thought Summer Capital Academy was a prestigious place. I didn't expect them to recruit such idiots. The mage was instantly enraged by my words. He immediately launched a scorching flame spell at me. Sierra quickly stepped in to block the attack. Sierra warned him to stop immediately, or he would be disqualified from the trial. The man finally calmed down after hearing that. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. I was just testing the rookie who replaced my brother. Sierra warned him again not to cause trouble. Since Lord Magnus personally introduced him, he must have extraordinary abilities. If you stay this impulsive, you will eventually pay the price. Meanwhile, Raven took me to the shop to buy supplies. Afterward, I returned to my dorm to use a skill scroll. I learned the basic skill, Slow Curse. It curses enemies in range for 1 minute. It reduces the speed of monsters within 5 meters by 5%. After my talent's amplification, the skill improved. The slow effect reached 50%, and the duration reached 10 minutes. Although it is slightly inferior to my summoning and attack skills, this curse skill is still very important. I hope I can learn more skills from different systems in the future. The next day, the entire trial team assembled. We then entered the teleportation array to the trial grounds. To my surprise, the Divine Summer Tower actually floats in midair. Guided by the power of the Divine Summer Tower, we were soon teleported to Mermaid Island. A mission stone appeared before us. By touching it, I understood the objective of this trial. The mission is to kill the final boss and obtain Mermaid's Tears. However, Mermaid's Tears only drop in Nightmare difficulty, and only 3 will drop in total. This means only the first 3 teams to clear the dungeon will get the Mermaid's Tears. Sierra became worried after seeing the objective. Mermaid's Tears are used to craft special equipment. Only 3 of them drop every year. People from beyond the Divine Summer Empire come to Mermaid Island. Geniuses from other empires will also be there. There are dozens of teams competing in this dungeon. Our chances of getting the tears are now much lower. Sierra's expression became serious as she spoke. I am mostly worried about the rival empires. This kind of competition has happened many times before. Before we started, Sierra told the priest to buff everyone to ensure our safety. After the buff, all my attributes increased by 30%. My skill damage also went up by 20%. I wondered if these buffs would work on my skeleton warriors. I immediately summoned a skeleton warrior to test it. I asked the priest to use his buffing skill on it. However, his skill could not be applied to the skeleton warrior. Seeing this, the warlock mocked me again. It can't even receive buffs. It seems this summon is as useless as its master. Just then, the skeleton warrior released a terrifying aura. The man was so terrified that he stumbled back. He tried to save face, but Sierra stopped him. Deep down, he knew he was no match for me. The moment the skeleton warrior looked at him, he felt the cold presence of death. Sierra then led us toward the dungeon entrance. But wild monsters blocked our path. Spirit, 200. Luckily, their levels weren't very high. Skills, none. So we began clearing monsters as we moved forward. But as we got closer to the island's center, the monsters' levels became higher. At this rate, it would take at least 3 hours to reach the dungeon entrance. Sierra came up with a strategy. Jade would control the monsters along the path, while the rest of us just charged ahead. However, we still fell behind the other teams, and the monsters ahead were becoming even more numerous. Even Jade said she couldn't control monsters at a higher level than her. While everyone was struggling, I stepped forward. I told them I would handle clearing the monsters. Entering the trial tower for the first time, this man was surrounded by the Empire's geniuses. But I summoned less than a tenth of my skeleton warriors, and terrified them so much they didn't dare come near. Earlier, while our team was heading to the dungeon entrance, we encountered many high-level monsters blocking our path. This caused us to fall far behind the other teams. I told them I would deal with the monsters along the way. Hearing this, Benny sneered at me. What can a level 17 weakling like you even do? You haven't lifted a finger this entire trip. You should just stay hidden behind the women. Sierra knew he was just being spiteful, but she still had to ask if I really had a way to handle them. I didn't respond to her. I simply raised my hand and summoned a skeleton warrior. Seeing this, Sierra suddenly realized my plan. She realized I could use the skeleton warrior to draw the monster's aggro. The skeleton warrior charged at the monsters immediately. The rest of the team rushed toward the center of the island. Everyone stopped once they reached the safe zone. Sierra, the team captain, quickly thanked me, but Benny complained that I should have done this from the start. He claimed we would have reached the dungeon entrance by now. I turned and warned him that this was the last time. Instead of stopping, he became even more arrogant. He said my summon's contribution didn't matter, and it didn't change the fact that I was useless. Just as I was about to teach him a lesson, Jade suddenly shouted for everyone to run. A group of monsters was charging toward us. Sierra saw they were summoned by a person. It was the legendary Shikigami summoner class. A man threw out paper charms from his hand. They instantly transformed into terrifying spirits. Sierra realized he was trying to block our path. Our team wasn't the only one affected. Other teams from the Divine Summer Empire were also being blocked. The man mocked us as he prepared to leave. He told us to teleport away if we couldn't handle it. He claimed the mermaid's tear belonged only to his country. Seeing me prepare to summon, the team placed all their hope in me. However, one skeleton warrior could only draw a third of the monsters. Just as the others were losing hope, I summoned another skeleton warrior. Then a third one appeared. Everyone was amazed by the sight. Yet Benny still looked at me with disdain. Soon, the group rushed toward the summit. The smug man was shocked to see us. Those monsters should have blocked us for hours. He ordered his hidden archers to stop us. A rain of arrows suddenly shot toward us. I ordered my skeleton warriors to shield the team. The team began to panic as their formation broke. They suggested forming one elite team. This was the only way to fight the enemy. Benny immediately had a selfish idea. He told Sierra he was moving to another team. He would only stay if she kicked me out. He was certain Sierra would choose him over me. But as he waited to see me humiliated, Sierra told him to leave instead. Benny was shocked by her response. You're choosing a level 17 weakling over me? Don't you want to enter Genesis Academy? I do, but as a knight, I have my principles. Annoyed, Benny finally left the team. I hope you don't regret this choice. To stop the others from giving up the trial, I promised to carry them through the dungeon. Sierra was skeptical at first, but seeing Raven's trust in me, she agreed. We then continued toward our destination. At the summit, two teams blocked the waterfall. The players from Nation Y kept shouting threats. They declared that anyone from the Divine Summer Empire who approached would die. I ignored them and walked straight toward the entrance. Seeing me take the lead, the other Divine Summer teams charged forward too. Benny sneered at the sight. He wondered if those fools were rushing to their deaths. Nation Y responded immediately. They summoned an ancient spirit and fired a volley of arrows at us. Sierra quickly raised her shield to protect us, but she didn't notice what I was doing. I raised my hand, and dark shadows rose from the ground like a tide. My skeleton warriors instantly blocked all the incoming arrows. A skeleton warrior killed their summoned spirit with a single casual slash. Everyone was stunned by the sight. They finally understood why Magnus had personally recommended me. Even the players from Nation Y were speechless. They wondered what kind of broken class could summon so many terrifying skeletons. Not even their legendary Shikigami summoner could do such a thing. While they were in shock, I reached the dungeon entrance. To avoid further trouble, I decisively chose Nightmare difficulty. Our figures vanished into the dungeon instantly. The Nation Y players grit their teeth in anger. We had successfully entered the dungeon, while the others were discussing their strategy to kill monsters. Kill notifications suddenly started popping up above their heads. Before they could react, I ordered my skeleton warriors to find more targets. Raven told the others to hurry and keep up. I planned to clear this just like the Goblin King dungeon. I summoned dozens of skeleton warriors to clear the path ahead. The rest of the team followed behind in a daze, just collecting experience. We reached a valley in less than 5 minutes. A giant elite boss was circling a pool of water. Its stats were even higher than the Goblin King's. Sierra, our tank, prepared to take the lead. I shook my head and told her to stay back. I summoned several skeleton warriors to attack. However, the monster was too agile. My skeleton warriors couldn't even touch it. Luckily, the slow curse I learned last night came in handy. The serpent's speed was instantly cut in half. My skeleton warriors easily climbed onto its body. It was soon covered in swords. In its final moments, it tried to use venom. But venom is useless against skeletons without flesh. A skeleton warrior finally pierced its skull. As the serpent died, everyone's experience points surged. This clearing speed was absolutely insane. We then headed toward the end of the dungeon. A grand palace soon came into view. This was the home of the Mermaid Queen. There were countless monsters patrolling outside. They were all enhanced elite monsters. Sierra began to feel nervous. But to me, they were just extra experience. I ordered my skeleton warriors to charge. But this time, my skeletons met a real challenge. The Mermaid Queen's stats were incredibly high. She destroyed 12 of my skeleton warriors in one hit. I had to send out my entire army for the second time. We fought our way to the Mermaid Queen's palace. Hundreds of elite monsters surrounded the area, while the others were worrying about the numbers. I sent my skeleton warriors to attack. The noise quickly alerted the mermaid soldiers. They used their skills and charged toward us. I ordered my skeleton warriors to use Frenzy Strike. Then, I followed up with Corpse Explosion. Kill notifications and EXP gains flooded my vision. The others couldn't believe their eyes. What kind of insane skill is this? This is the first time I've seen EXP gain like this. Once all the monsters were